Okay, continuing our work with solving a system of equations. We are working on examples. Okay, this next example, I've got negative 15x plus 3y equals negative 75 and negative 5x plus 2y equals negative 30. We will not use substitution for this one because x and y are not by itself. X or y is not by itself. So we're going to do addition elimination. In the first equation, I have negative 15 for x and negative 5 for x. For y, I have 3 and 2. 3 and 2, LCM is 6. So I would have to multiply 3 and 2 to get 6. For negative 15 and negative 5, the LCM is 15. So I only have to multiply 5 by 3. And since 15 is already negative, I want to multiply negative 5 by negative 3 so that I get a positive 15, so they'll cancel. So I'm going to multiply this second equation by negative 3. I get negative 15x plus 6y equals 90. I'm going to multiply or write the first equation. Okay, I have to watch my signs. Negative 3 times negative 5 is positive 15. Negative 3 times positive 2 is negative 6. Negative 3 times negative 30 is positive 90. All right, now that I've got my signs fixed, I'm going to write the first equation underneath. I didn't have to multiply it by anything, so it's a little less work. My new equation, the x's cancel. I have negative 3y equals 15. Divide both sides by negative 3. Y equals negative 5. Now I'm going to plug in negative 5 for y. Both equations have negatives, so I can't avoid that. I'm going to pick the second equation. It just looks a little easier. So negative 5x plus 2 times, instead of y, I'm going to put negative 5. Do my multiplication. Negative 5x minus 10 equals negative 30. Add 10 to both sides. Negative 5x equals negative 20. Divide both sides by negative 5. X equals 4. My ordered pair solution is 4, negative 5. In number 5, 20x minus 2y equals 22, and negative 4x plus 5y equals negative 9. Neither equation has y by itself. In looking at my coefficients, 20 and negative 4, my LCM is 20. So I have to multiply my second equation by 5. For my y's, my coefficients are negative 2 and 5. My LCM is 10. So I would have to multiply both equations. So I'm going to choose to multiply just one equation. It'll be easier. So I'm going to multiply the second equation by 5. That'll give me a negative 20x, which will cancel with the positive 20x. Negative 20x plus 25y equals negative 45. Copying down the first equation to line up just helps it easier to combine. The x's cancel. I get 23y equals negative 23. Y equals negative 1. Okay, I'm going to plug y into the first equation. Again, it doesn't matter. I just picked one I thought would be easier. So 20x minus 2, instead of y, I'm going to write -1. Equals 22. 20x plus 2 equals 22. Subtract 2 on both sides. 20x equals 20, x equals 1. So my ordered pair solution is 1, -1. Okay, now we're going to look at some real-life applications of systems of equations. Okay, so solve each of the following by using a linear system of equations. We did these types of problems in 2.3 using a different method. Here I would like you to use the methods we just learned. Some of you will learn that you like one method over the other, and that's fine, but for now I want you to use solving by a system. And that's one of the reasons we learn different ways, is because you'll prefer one way over the other. Everyone will not be the same. So we're going to translate the sentences into two equations with two unknowns. In the other lesson, we looked at the comparison between the two, and we wrote down variable expressions. Here we're going to write two equations. Mike's age is 5 years less than twice the age of his friend Paul. I am going to use M to represent Mike, and I'm going to use P to represent Paul. There's my two variables. Mike is 5 years less than. This means take away 5. Twice the age of his friend Paul. Twice Paul. There's one equation. Second sentence. How old is each if the sum of their ages is 34? Well, sum is Mike plus Paul equals 34. Now I have my two equations, my two variables. Now you can choose by solving by substitution or elimination. Okay, notice the first equation has m all by itself. So I am going to take and use substitution. 2p minus 5 is going to replace m in the other equation. So my new equation is 2p minus 5 plus p equals 34. I'm going to combine my like terms. That should have been done in blue. There we go. 2p plus p is 3p. Add 5 to both sides to isolate the p. 3p equals 39. Divide both sides by 3. The 3's cancel. I get p equals 13. Paul is 13 years old. Now I'm going to plug 13 in. I can go back to either original equation. So I'm going to use m plus p equals 34 or m equals 2p minus 5. Now I'm going to choose the first one. M equals 2 times 13 minus 5. Mike is 26 minus 5. Mike is 21. Okay, next example. Again, we're looking at two equations, two unknowns. David's age is 5 years less than twice the age of his brother James. So I'm going to use D for David and J for James. David is equals 5 years less than means take away 5, twice the age of his brother James. Very similar to the first equation of the last problem. If David is 29 years old, how old is James? David is 29. Okay? D is all by itself. I'm going to put 29, change color. I'm going to put 29 in for D. 29 is 2J minus 5. Add 5 to both sides. Tw 34 equals 2J, and divide by 2. James is 17 years old. Okay, next page. The perimeter of a rectangle is 88 feet, and the length of a rectangle is 6 feet more than its width. Okay, here's one sentence, one equation. Here's the other. Perimeter of a rectangle is 88 feet. You need to remember that perimeter is 2 length plus 2w. But that's 3 variables. I know P is 88, so my first equation is going to be 88 equals 2L plus 2W. My second equation, length of a rectangle is 6 feet more than width. Length is 6 more than width. In my second equation, L is all by itself. So I'm going to take 6 plus W and replace L in the first equation. My new equation is 88 equals 2, instead of L, I'm going to write 6 plus W plus 2W. When I distribute, I get 88 equals 12 plus 2W plus 2W. 88 equals 12 plus 4W. Excuse me. Solving for W, subtract 12 on both sides. 76 equals 4W. Divide by 4. W equals 19. Plug 19 in for W. I'm going to use the second equation. L equals 6 plus 19. L equals 25. Now I should put my labels. Length is 25 feet, width is 19 feet. Okay, number 4, very similar to number 3. The perimeter of a triangle. Okay, I lied, this is a triangle. Perimeter of a triangle is 62 feet. A triangle has 3 sides. A plus B plus C equals 62. The second, and I'm doing A for first, B for second, C for third. Do this in a different color. The second side is 12 feet longer than the first. So here's another sentence. the second side is 12 feet longer than the first. The third side is, C is 14 less than twice the second. 14 less than means take away 14, twice the second. Well, now I have 3 equations in 3 variables. This is done pretty much the same way, just a little more work. B is 12 plus A, and C is 2B minus 14. Let's see, which way should I do this? All right, so I am going to put 12 plus A in for B. There, I would get A plus 12 plus A plus, instead of C, I'm going to put this in, 2B minus 14 sorry, turn off my whiteboard.